This is called Quack Quack and the Tea Party. It was going to be a very exciting day in Puddleton. Everyone was up bright and early in the village. Today, the Duke of Devonshire was coming to visit them and present them with a special award for the best kept village. All the villagers were out sweeping the footpaths, weeding the flower beds and putting up flags to prepare for the Duke's arrival. Matilda Moose was very busy in the kitchen of her tea room, as she was going to serve tea and homemade chocolate cake to the villagers' very important guest. Matilda had got up very early to prepare everything and make her special cake. Quack Quack had been putting up flags at the front garden of Drake Cottage and then rushed over to Matilda's tea room to help her with the royal visit. The bell over the door of the tea room tinkled as Quack Quack walked in, but there was no sign of Matilda. Where was she? All of a sudden Quack Quack heard a scream coming from the kitchen. She rushed through the tea room and burst into the kitchen. "Whatever is the matter?" she quacked. "Oh, what am I going to do?" said Matilda. Quack Quack looked at the sight in front of her and was very tempted to giggle. Matilda was covered in flour and bits of chocolate cake mix, and balanced on one of her antlers was a cake tin. "I was just going to put the cake in to cook ready for the arrival of the Duke this afternoon, and my oven has broken," she wailed. "What am I going to do?" "What a terrible time for this to happen," said Quack Quack. "But let's not panic yet," she continued. "I'll think of a plan." "I've only got 2 hours until he arrives, and my cake takes nearly that long to cook," cried Matilda. "Oh, this is just a disaster." "I've got a really brilliant idea. I know what we'll do," Quack Quack said excitedly. "We'll take your cake and cook it in my oven at home. We've got enough time if we hurry." "What a fantastic plan!" shrieked Matilda with joy. "Let's get going." They dashed down the village high street, passing Monty, who was polishing cars in the garage, went past Percy the postman, who was emptying the village letterbox, and arrived at Quack Quack's cottage. Quack Quack flung open the door to her cottage and they both raced into the kitchen, where she and Matilda opened her oven to put the cake in to cook. But to their dismay, Quack Quack's oven was too small for the cake to fit in. "Oh no, what are we going to do now?" cried Matilda. "We're going to run out of time to bake my cake." "Quick, let's try the cheeky monkeys, Bert and Ernie, who live opposite. Their oven might be bigger." They both ran across the lane to Bert and Ernie's house and rang the bell. 2 naughty giggling faces peered through the window and then opened the door. "We haven't been naughty," they both chorused, thinking that Quack Quack and Matilda had come to tell them off. "No, I know," said Quack Quack, "but we need to use your oven, please. Matilda's oven in the tea room is broken and she needs to bake this cake for when the Duke is here this afternoon. We've tried my oven, but it's not big enough. Can we try yours?" "Of course," they both chattered, relieved that they were not being told off. "Quickly, come in and let's try your cake in our oven." But try as they might, Quack Quack and Matilda couldn't fit the cake in Bert and Ernie's oven either. "Herbie Bear's cottage, and fast!" yelled Quack Quack. And leaving the cheeky monkeys behind, they dashed to Herbie's cottage and knocked on the door. Herbie came to the door and greeted them both, but could see that Quack Quack and Matilda were in a hurry. "Oh, Herbie, we have so little time to explain," said Quack Quack, "but Matilda's oven in the tea room is broken. My oven isn't big enough, and neither is Bert and Ernie's, and we've got to bake this cake before the Duke arrives," she cried, holding up a rather large cake tin. "Well, you're in luck then," beamed Herbie. "I've got a double-size oven and you're welcome to use it." He led them through to his kitchen where his oven was, and the cake easily fitted in. "We'll be back in about an hour," said Matilda with a huge sigh of relief. "Don't worry," said Herbie. "When it's cooked, I'll take it out of the oven to cool and bring it over to the tea room in plenty of time for the Duke's arrival." An hour later, the Duke of Devonshire arrived in Puddleton, and Quack Quack had the honour of showing him around the village so that he could see why they'd won the Best Kept Village award. Then, in front of a crowd of villagers, he presented them with their trophy, and Quack Quack walked the Duke to the tea room, where a very smiling Matilda offered him a fresh cup of tea and a generous slice of her perfectly cooked chocolate cake. "This is truly delicious," exclaimed the Duke. "Next year you should apply for our best baked cake competition as well." Quack Quack, Herbie, the two monkeys, and Matilda smiled at each other. "If only he knew what we did to get that cake cooked on time," whispered Quack Quack. When the Duke had left, Matilda made everyone else a cup of tea, and they sat down to talk about their exciting day. "Well," said Matilda, "I think that since we've all helped in getting this cake cooked, we should all have a big slice of it now." And that's exactly what they did, and everyone agreed it was truly delicious.